Hello, my name's Andrew, and this is Michael, and we are going to be doing the Independent Living Skills Assessment. The Independent Living Skills, or the ILS, is an individually administered assessment of adults' competency in instrumental activities of daily living. The items, which target situations relevant to independent living, require the examinee to do problem solving, to demonstrate knowledge, or to perform a task. An individual's performance on the ILS can guide determination of the most appropriate living arrangements for adults who are cognitively impaired. Information at the item level is specific enough to identify needed support services, adaptations, or instructions for adults who are unable to function independently in certain areas of everyday living. So we're going to start the assessment here. So the first part of the assessment is the screening. Materials needed for the screening would include the stimulus booklet, a piece of scratch paper, pencil, and pen. So we'll start. I will be the therapist administering the ILS, and Mike will be the patient here. So we'll start with vision here. So the first thing is I'll open the stimulus book to part 1A and ask the patient to please read aloud.
CJA4925.
So the patient correctly read that, so I'll move on to the next one. So reading, I'll turn to page 2A in the stimulus book, and I will say, now please read aloud.
What time does the evening news begin?
Good, so he read it correctly. So for the third item here, so the first two were vision and reading. The third item here is hearing. So I'm going to stand behind the patient, and I'm going to stand behind you and read a sentence aloud. I want you to say the sentence back to me, okay? So this will be assessing hearing. And the sentence is, many people read the newspaper daily. Can you repeat that back to me?
Many people read the newspaper daily.
Perfect. So I would record that as well. So speech, since I know Michael is comprehensible, there's 5 scales: fully comprehensible, mostly comprehensible, half and half. So I can hear him. He talks good to me, so he's fully comprehensible. So I'll give him a score of 100%. So now, Mike, I'd like you to please sign your name on this piece of scratch paper for me. Perfect. Good. So he signed his name. Next, please write the following sentence, and I will open to stimulus book item 6. And I will say, please write the following sentence. Good. The sentence read, the house has 4 windows, and that is what you wrote. Lastly here is walking. So now, Mike, I'd like you to stand up and walk forward about 6 feet, turn around, and walk back to your chair, please. Good. Turn around. Perfect. So that concludes the screening portion of the ILS, and we will move on next to memory and orientation. Now we will move on to the memory and orientation subscale. These are things many people carry in their pockets or their handbags. Look at them and remember each item. I will ask you to tell me which one is missing when I present them again later.
Okay.
So I will allow 1 minute for Michael to look at the items and then remove them in front of him. Using a stopwatch, I will time for the minute. So once the minute is up, I will remove the items. All right. So next question here. What time does this clock show?
2:20.
Perfect, good. What is your telephone number?
563-920-3061.
And what day of the week is it? Today?
Wednesday.
What city or town are we in?
Waterloo.
And what is your address?
113 DM Drive.
Let's suppose you're going to the store. I'm going to present you with a shopping list. After I present the list, tell me what you need to buy at the store.
Okay. Orange juice, cereal, milk, coffee, and bread.
Can you recall those five items?
Orange juice, cereal, milk, coffee, and bread.
Perfect. A few minutes ago, I showed you these items. However, one of the items you saw earlier is now missing. What item is missing from this group?
The key.
I want you to remember that you have an appointment to see a new doctor, Dr. Thomas, on Tuesday at 3 p.m. I want you to recall the doctor's name and the day and time of the appointment when I ask you later.
Okay.
Please repeat. Dr. Thomas, Tuesday, 3 p.m.
Dr. Thomas, Tuesday, 3 p.m.
And that concludes the memory and orientation session. Scores are from a 0 to 2, so if Mike correctly answers the score, it's a 2. If not, it's a 0, and we'll add up all those points. So now we are on the subscale of managing money. Mike, how are you supported financially?
I have a job.
Please explain to me what Social Security benefits are.
So you get a check in the mail every month, and you get money taken out of your check account for every paycheck that you receive that you will get later.
By what date every year do you have to file your personal income tax return?
April 15th.
So I have this change out here for you. Now I would like you to count out $1.39 from these coins.
$1, 30 cents, 5, 39.
About how much does a loaf of bread cost at the store?
About $3.
Suppose you bought a dozen eggs for $1.19. If you gave the clerk $5, how much change should you receive? You may use the scratch paper and pencil to do this figuring.
$3.81.
Do you use checks or money orders to pay bills?
I use checks.
How have you paid your bills?
I mail them into the company.
Where do you get your checks and money orders from?
I get them from the bank.
So record the Social Security check for $320.75 on your scratch paper as the beginning balance. Now make out one check or money order payable to the telephone company for this bill.
Okay. What is my bill?
$320.75.
Okay.
Is that all you're filling out?
Yes.
Now, make a check or money order payable to the gas and electric company for this bill.
For what amount?
$320.75.
Okay.
Now I want you to deduct the 2 checks or money orders from the beginning balance and tell me how much money, if any, you have left over. You may use the sheet of scratch paper to do your figuring.
I don't have any money left over.
Please tell me what you remember about the appointment with the doctor we talked about earlier.
It's with Dr. Thomas on Tuesday at 3 p.m.
Tell me 2 reasons why it is important to pay your bills.
You might not get the service anymore if you don't pay it. You could go to jail.
Name 1 thing you can do to keep from being cheated out of money.
You could keep a history of all of your payments, such as your receipts. You could keep all of your money in a bank. You could keep it in a safe, things like that.
And what is health insurance?
Health insurance is something that you pay money towards in case something were to happen and you might pass away, and your family can be reciprocated for a certain amount of money that you pay.
Suppose you receive a medical bill for $350. If your medical insurance pays 80% of this bill, how much do you owe? You may use a scratch paper to do your figuring.
I would owe $60.
Why is it important to read carefully and fully understand any document before signing it?
Because you're legally obligated to that document and whatever it entails. And you will have to follow through and do whatever it says.
And what is the purpose of a will?
If you have a will and you pass away, it delegates your belongings to whoever you wish, so that there isn't a feud between your items after you pass.
And what is home insurance?
Home insurance is a payment that you make each month in case an accident were to happen in your home, such as it burns down, or it floods, or just in case an accident happens.
That concludes the managing money subscale. We will move on to managing home and transportation next.